So as you wish, Irene.
To unmute then.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It's an honor to get an aliyah, to be called up to the Torah. Just park that fact for the moment. This week's Sedra is the last one in the book of Vayikra. It's Bechukotai. It opens with a list of the blessings that Hashem will give us, the rain, peace in the land, and all good things. And these are a consequence of our good relationship with Hashem, that we learn Torah and fulfill all his statutes when we do them in the way that he asks us to. And then we'll have the blessings listed in the Sedra. But if we don't listen or take him seriously, there are consequences. And we have the tochacha, the curses in this week's Sedra. There are a lot of them and they're in different stages. There is a sentence between the blessings and the curses, which translates as something like, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt so that you would not be slaves to anyone. And I'll hold back the things barring that and walk straight with you. I have led you upright. I walk so that we can all walk with God in a dignified way, being upright. We can be at peace with ourselves and with Hashem. It also says that Hashem will not forsake us. At the end of the Tochacha, the Torah states categorically, then I will remember my covenant with Yaakov, I will remember my covenant with Yitzchak and also with Abraham, and I will remember the land. But before the Tochacha, it also states that it's our job to convince Hashem that we recognize and appreciate all his daily miracles and kindnesses, that we should be worthy and not take them for granted. As we read about the Tochacha, there's this strange promise, which is part of the blessings. I will place my sanctuary in your midst, and my spirit will be among you, and I will not reject you or despise you. In our midst is the way we wanted Hashem to be. It's the highest state we can hope to achieve in our closeness to him. And he says he will not reject us. It's a very strong comment. The Baal Shem Tov has an example. He says, we know there's divorce around. By the time people divorce, they may hate each other. They may have a deep hatred, even though they had loved each other deeply. And this is a bit like Hashem in a way. Hashem gives us the blessing that he will live with us, but that he will never stop loving us, as it were. He will not despise us. We were thrown out on the 9th of Av in 586 BCE and in 70 CE, and we were exiled. But this was a separation, not a divorce. And in spite of this, Hashem would not despise us or hate us. It was prophetic, as we would one day come back. And we are in that era now of return and reconciliation. We came back to Israel after 2,000 years, but lacked our soul, Jerusalem. So we had a miracle in 1967 of regaining the old city, and the immortal words, HaKotel b'yadenu, the kotel is in our hands, was all the more important now, perhaps, because of what's going on at this moment in Israel. We've lost friends, family, we've had death threats throughout the world from so many nations. Being a Jew is not always a joy all the time, but we keep going because we believe in our souls. Okay, we'll come back to the Torah portion. It is an honor to get an aliyah, to be called up to the Torah. Here, the Tochacha is mentioned, and it's in this Sedra and also in Kitavol. We are first promised blessings if we keep Hashem's commandments, but if we don't, there will be punishments. The Talmud says that the calendar is arranged so that there's at least one Shabbat interrupting between the reading of the curses and the festivals of both Shavuot and Rosh Hashanah, hence those two Sedras. The Talmud says that both these festivals are classed as days of judgment. The Chofetz Chaim tells us that the break between the reading of the curses is to avoid giving mouth to the accuser who may indict the Jewish people. Many reliable sources, including the Ramah and the Magen Avraham, indicate that merely being called up for this portion is a bad omen for the person. I didn't realize we were such a superstitious people, and also didn't think that an aliyah may be related to the content of the portion that you're called up for. However, as I said, it's an honor to be called up to the Torah. In the past, the question of who should be called up generated some negative shul politics, with members maybe ensuring that their opponents were maybe punished, as it were, by being called up for that portion of the Torah. So the Ramah describes how the wardens of some communities would ask for a volunteer for this aliyah, while there's another custom in other communities in the past not to call anyone up. Then the custom developed for the person who's already laning to receive this. And in Kenton, it's usually our rabbi laning, as it will be tomorrow. So he is already at the Torah on the bimah. So strictly speaking, he doesn't need to be called up in the usual way. But we must remember, though we're not school children being promised something by parents and being told off about what will happen if we don't do these things, it's maybe good to have warnings and rebukes as it keeps us on the straight and narrow. While we wouldn't seek the honor of that portion particularly, the fact that we are reminded that Hashem is with us and we should not fear helps us rise above any threats of bad omens, and we can embrace being protected by God and that we have a good relationship with him. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Irene. That was very interesting. Where are we?
Kai.
Yes, yeah.